You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching the Meta Show.
And we're live! It worked! I fixed it! Wait, are we alive? Can anyone hear me?
I see it.
You see what? This is concerning. What do you see?
I can see the show. I'm like, looking at the stream.
Oh shit, we're here! Alright, well, somebody subscribed, Captain Stu subscribed for 12 months. Thank you, sir. Iceburn, 47 months. That's 2 years and a couple of days in there somewhere. Hi, guys!
It's almost 4 years, but...
It's almost 40 years?
4.
Wow! Oh shit, you're right! I was thinking 24 months into a year. Holy shit, that is almost 4 years. What the fuck? That's a month short of 4 years. God damn, that's amazing. 20 months in a row, boat in the house. Yeah, so, no Mittens this week. He could not make it. But we have K-Color stepping up and arriving just in time. Hey, thanks for surviving. This show's going to be a mess. Normally we have an organized show that's organized and a lot of effort. But ooh, I might have found us a guest.
We're just cosplaying as the North right now. Because everything's a fucking shit show.
What do you mean everything's a shit show?
It's just disorganized chaos, you know? We're just pretending we're the North.
I'm about to invite somebody to the show, and this is going to be a first for this guest. I don't think I've ever heard this person speak either, so why can't I invite him?
Hammy?
No. I've heard Hammy speak. He came on the show last week and spoke. Not even kidding. He actually did. Alright, so, topics for today. The North. I think that's about it, right? That's all we're going to talk about? Just North. Like, I can't think of anything else going on.
The North. Highsec, I guess.
Yeah, but it's still part of the North, right?
Pretty sure that we just killed an inner hell Forger in highsec.
Hey, Brandy, thanks for subscribing. Same with you, Casey. Oh, man. All these people. Well, don't worry. If our guest manages to make it into the chat, this is going to be great. Can I send him an invite? Let's see. Let's see if it works. Hopefully it works. He says he's in. There he is! Hi! And he's gone again. And he's back again. Hi! Welcome, special guest. Wait, I can't hear you. Hello? K-Color, you can hear him, right?
Hear me?
Yes, we can! Hi!
I don't think I can hear him.
I heard him.
Give me a second, bro.
There, I can hear him right there. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay. So, today's show, we're going to break it down real quick. We're going to talk about tests and Horde. We're going to talk about the North, fighting the North. We're going to talk about NCBL resetting. We're going to talk about a whole lot of things. To sum it up, I mean, K-Color, I mean, you maybe can sum this up better than I can. Here's an image that I think should sum up what is going on in the North very well. Mr. K-Color, what do you think? Oh, God.
It's kind of accurate, but I mean, it has a lot of people that aren't even involved in what's going on up there.
Okay, do tell. Please, share with the crowd.
CO2 is pretty much just in Kavala Expanse, ratting it up, losing fleets to skill yourself. Pandemic Legion, that's pretty much an accurate representation of them just flying around in not Punishers. What are the other ones?
Where are they?
The ships that they always fly, Retributions.
Is it Retributions? I don't know.
Yeah, so that's pretty accurate. I have never seen that chicken skull thing before.
Okay, so the chicken skull thing is supposed to represent GOTG. Then you have PL, and then you have Horde and NC Dot. And then Black Legion's supposed to be there somewhere, but I don't know where Black Legion is.
I mean, yeah, if you want to consider that entire like GOTG region of like Siberian squads and Darkness and Slice and all of that as that one picture, I guess. But
Shit's on fire, yo. Is that a good way to word it?
yeah, I think that would be accurate. I don't know if it's really gonna make much of a difference, though. I don't really see ourselves going to Venal or Branch or something like that, unless someone was like, "Hey, there's gonna be a fight going on. You want to come third party?" Then maybe it's like, "Oh, we got a wormhole," but otherwise, I don't really see us.
Right.
We're just gonna sit there. Stretch our arms out, and eat some popcorn while we watch.
Well, that brings our guest. Right, Rick, thank you for stopping by on short notice. I had no idea we were going to be absentee, a lot of people. It got dropped on me last minute, and K-Color has graciously decided to join us. But, right, Rick, you're involved very heavily in the north. What the hell is going on up there? And your microphone's dead again. Great. But
check one.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Now we can hear you.
No, I was just saying. I don't know what's going on. I just mine.
What? What do you mean you don't know what's going on? Please, don't give us this. We need to know. Oh.
No, it seems like Horde and BL is poking during the AU time zones. It's good for me from time to time.
But where are they poking? This is the important question.
Just random iHubs and maybe some Citadels. Because most of those guys are in, they're Chinese and Russian, so 1100 to 1400 would be their prime.
Yeah.
Now, word on the street I've heard is that Black Legion wants to take Sov and Branch. It actually take Sov. I don't know if you live there or rent it out. Or
it wasn't the last time they actually took Sov. They quit the game.
I don't remember. Did they actually take Sov before? I don't remember them ever taking Sov before. Wait, Elo took Sov before? Really?
I don't know. I thought that's what happened to them before it died out. But they could. I mean, I don't know if they want to have Sov.
Oh, in Fountain. BL had Fountain for a time, apparently. Huh. Interesting. When they split from TC, they took it from Brave. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay. Well, here's another thing it's actually kind of surprising. I don't think I've ever heard you talk, and I always pictured you as Australian. I don't know why.
Well, that's where I play, but
I know.
I'm from the US.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm hearing a normal United States voice going, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Is this the right guy? Did I get the right guy on here? Mike, go to bed.
I play in the time zone, but I am from Florida.
Oh, whoa. Really? What part?
West.
West?
Southwest, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm from Florida too. So that's why I was wondering.
Which part?
Orlando area.
Ah, Central, got it.
Yep. Haven't been back in a while. Too many hurricanes. But anyway, moving on. So, what I wanted to ask you, you tend to know a lot about what's going on up north. And so the first question I'll have to ask is, why in the world did NC Dot reset Black Legion? What happened there? I've been busy this week with work. I haven't really been paying attention to Eve because we're on vacation in Eve ever since the North thing. But what is going on with NC? I thought NC tends to stay out of these things and just kind of chill.
Well, I didn't know they were blue for a long time, so I wouldn't know. I think BL was helping NC down in the south when that was active. And they're not really active anymore. So
yeah, but just like a couple weeks ago, Black Legion was getting dreads built for them. You know, the dreads that dropped on you when I was there with my roaming carriers. Yeah, those were the dreads the NC built for them. Like, I thought it was kind of weird that NC's building them dreads in Fortizars, but then resets them.
But what's funny is I caught one of my guys building dreads for them, so it's not just
what?
NC.
Are you serious? Oh, please tell us. Do tell, please.
No, it was some dude. It was just like, hey, I didn't know we couldn't sell supers and dreads to neutrals. I'm like, really?
That's kind of funny. Wait, Black Legion's only neutral to you guys? You don't have, like, red or orange?
I think there's 0. I've been trying to poke Merkel to get me a better standings with goons to make it like negative 0.69 or something.
Well, I mean, you could easily get that done through K-Color, probably. But no, serious. The next question is, I know that they're poking in Branch. We've seen that. But what is the deal with Horde? Recently, the Horde Gobbins and Sword Dragon conversation got leaked through Gobbins to try and make it sound like that Gobbins was better than thou. Although I read that conversation, it sounded like Gobbins was being a prick. But and that's not a term I use lightly. But the question is that why has Horde decided to get so involved with what Black Legion's doing? Is it just for content, or are they really angry about the deal you guys made with us?
Yeah, that's a great question. I know they probably built that relationship with the fact that BL was farming Horde for a while in Gemini.
Yeah, but how does that build a relationship? Like, it feels like that's that. Right, but like, was that Stockholm syndrome? How does that work, K-Color? Like, how can you beat and batter somebody and then...
They're there for content, and both sides got content, and now that Elo needs more people to fight, he's just going to take over Pandemic Horde. Oh. He's been sending pings to Horde for months now. He's been seeing their fleets, he's been doing joy tops.
Yeah, no. When that fight went down, when I did my Suicide Carrier roaming up, he's like, "Oh, I'll just light the sign on my Horde character so they won't see it coming." I'm like, "You do realize Horde can't enter their space?" And he's like, "Oops, yeah, you're right. So maybe I'll just have to use another character." I'm like, "What? You have Horde characters that can run ops for Horde? What?" It's very confusing.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen him send pings and whatnot. But I mean, Gobbins back in World War B was giving me ping rights and access. Right?
But that's a little different. That's all of E versus one group. This is, no. I like to think of this as like, could you imagine, all right, imagine for a second, if the United States, World War II had ended, right? World War II is literally over, and Europe has its own civil war, right? World War II's done, shit's over, it's done with, and then they start shooting each other. Like, that's what this feels like. It feels like, you guys, the war's over, right? One side of the group versus the other side of the group. Goons go home, and then everyone just starts engaging in a nice, lovely civil war. Like, how does that work?
I mean, Canada and America shot each other in 1812.
Yeah, but they didn't do it after winning a war. Or in this case, losing a war.
True.
Like, I'm confused, right? Maybe K-Color can help explain this, because you tend to know these things. Also, the Vault 1999, thank you for 37 months. And
no one's going to be able to elaborate on what you're talking about.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is how does it work that all these groups are now shooting? I mean, was Horde just jealous of the fact that you guys secured a good deal and they're left to pick up the scraps?
According to Gobbins, he wants to lay out those consequences against Horde for setting up the whole deal.
Yeah. Which completely ignores the fact that Killaby was there and that Vince knew and that they were part of the deal as well.
Wait, so NC knew all about it and was all part of this deal, but Horde didn't?
No, he was given a heads up as far as I was told.
But why wouldn't he, like, here's my thing, is why didn't he complain about this before all the anger and angst?
As far as I know, the deal happened really fast. Like,
oh yeah, I know that. I know it went down really quick, but... And here's my next question, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't. We couldn't get a guest from Test to come on But my sources, and they're very, very, very good sources, are telling me that you guys have paid Test to begin hitting the money backbone of Horde Alliance income, which is their holdings in Perimeter. Is this true?
No, because Billy was the one posting that on Reddit, but
no,
I don't think.
What I mean is, I asked a certain someone, a certain important, very specific someone, if it was true, and he winked at me and said, "Of course it's true, but why the fuck would I go to Empire if it wasn't?" And that was a direct quote. I understand Billy memeing on Reddit, but you don't like uproot an entire alliance just after a war finished when it's an opportunity for you to make money and relax and enjoy yourself, when all of a sudden you're now in highsec for a couple of citadels. Like, I don't.
I'm being told.
Test wants to set up their own.
Yeah, I'm being told it's like 200 to 300 billion a month.
That they
I know how much they make. They make 200 bill. That was a Goblin's quote from about a year ago. They make about 200 bill just on Perimeter alone.
That's what I'm being told.
Yeah,
that's what I'm told. And so that's more motivation than just sitting around in South for doing nothing.
Maybe, but you have to understand, like, in today's Eve, when you have such big wars, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago here on the show, and Keiko might attest to this, when, like, what happened with you guys, losing all of Fade and Pureblind's moon stuff, that's a lot of reset that you have to deal with, right? You have to go through and redrop those moon mining towers or structures, and then you have to refract them.
Though.
Well, you guys cleared stuff for me, so thank you.
Fade and Pureblind was Horde, and then it went to, like, CO2.
Right, but, like, there were people trying to mine it, is what I mean. But that's a hard reset. So, with Test and them, they've now finally stopped fighting. I think this is the first time since the Stain War with Test and Stain, the Test have finally been able to stop and take a break. And you finally have a chance to take a break, and now you're immediately going to highsec. Like, it seems like there needs to be something motivating them to want to take the time to do that. Oh, so the people that weren't noticing what we're talking about, they make about 200 billion a month in taxes off of their Fortizars. I think they call them what is the name of them? Like the Freeport citadels they use for the market that they use for plexes and stuff. That happens to be like the cheapest one. The plexes are only slightly cheaper than Jita, but what people don't realize is all that tax income, instead of going to Jita, which is then removed from the game, it goes directly to Horde.
No, that's
I choose use. I choose use. Yeah.
Most people are saying it's about 200 to 300 billion.
Yeah, Gobbins himself said about a year ago it's 200 billion. That was a year ago, so who knows what it is now. It might be higher, it might be lower. And they got really upset because there was a short period where Snuff made a Citadel that was just on paper slightly cheaper, but then what Snuff would do is they were really sneaky. They'd wait till a whole shitload of stuff got listed and was about to be bought, and then they would jack it up to 100% taxes and rake in like tens of billions in a moment. It was beautiful, and Gobbins got so furious. He actually made a big alliance post about how he needed to get the word out to highsec that Snuff was trying to ruin highsec, and he was scheming against the Horde free ports and how Horde was there for them. So it's an interesting situation to see Test get involved, because now you have a situation where Test is fighting with with Horde over highsec, but now Horde has just deployed with Black Legion to fight you guys. So, I mean, is this a good thing for you that Test is not going to have to deal with their highsec stuff also?
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out, whether it's just folks doing jokes or it's actually a real campaign. But what I do know is, when during the Hakonnen War, Goblins paid us to war deck you guys just to ensure that we could defend his Fortizars near perimeter.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I mean, he cost, 500 million or so for each alliance.
Yeah, but that's a drop in the bucket, right? Like 500 mil is nothing.
He's willing to. I think he's willing to defend it. He'll call in all favors for that thing.
But a lot of people don't understand. Arendis has pointed out, if Horde's doing all that for 200 bill a month, they should really just join ASCII and make more. No, but they're not doing all that. They don't have to touch anything, right? This market just sits there, passively making them money without them having to actually do anything. As long as they keep it fueled and they keep the market working and not reinforced, and the market still runs, that's passive income, and a lot of passive income. They don't have to physically mine. Right. They don't have to physically do R64s. There's no risk on this for a long time, because you have to remember, all of the north, and I know this might bother you some, but from the north, from literally Cloud Ring, all the way to the drone lands, and even further south, wouldn't touch those for years. So Horde has to go bash competitors' markets, but there is no competitors' market. No one does it. Right, no one puts up competitors because Horde's had bots that detect them and then they kill them instantly. Like, there's never an opportunity for a competitor to go up.
Yeah, Horde hired mercenaries to kill the competitors.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not that much effort for them to make the money. All right, but okay, this is the next point, okay? And I know Mittens always jokes about never talking about future plans, but since we have you here, what happens now? Do you guys say, okay, fuck you, Horde, we're going to murder you? Or do you just deal with defending and having to be like on the defensive again, like you were in the last little bits of skirmish?
Yeah, there's still a bunch of us that worked with Horde FCs and whatnot. We just really don't have the motivation to go after them offensively. Right now, it's just defensive, and a lot of their FCs have reached out and said, "We don't know what's with the emotional reaction here." But
so they're kind of throwing goblins under the bus.
Well, no, there's just some FCs that are like, this is over my head, and just don't even want to shoot you guys sometimes.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying by throwing goblins under the bus. They're literally saying, look, it's like blaming the a general for an order you're given and you don't agree with, right? Like, you're just saying, oh, it's his fault. Like, they're just blaming the guy above them.
Yeah, it is what it is. So we'll see what happens after Vegas and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, Vegas is going to be really interesting, because I'm pretty sure Goblins is going, and I'm going to be there. And I'm going to talk to all these people. But this is, here's a link, and K-Color, maybe you can attest this. Literally the day that Black Legion was reset by NC. This happened. It was a battle report that went down where a Oracle belonging to NC. Was killed, along with a whole lot of facts.
I remember this.
And apparently a Vanquisher got into trouble for a moment. What happened with this? Like, what was the situation with this? If both of you want to comment.
I'm pretty sure it was just they dropped an Oracle and then the bank dropped to kill them and started eating shit, so they had to bring in armor faxes, and the armor faxes ate shit instead.
Yeah, so
which is
I think NC was roaming in PH space during this time.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, they were just killing Hordelings, and this happened on one of their oracles.
Oh, okay. So, but here's something you may know about. You know a lot of NC Doc guys, leadership wise. Why did they reset Horde of all people? Like, usually, I mean, I understand maybe you want good fights, and this is like a we don't need to be blue moment, but you have a situation where Horde is hitting one of their biggest allies, which is GOTG, pretty seriously with Titans and Supers. Why not just like, hey, Horde, chill the fuck out? Like, why reset them in this situation?
Well, I don't think Goblins reports to anybody from that perspective. But
no, I meant NC, when NC reset Horde just recently.
Yeah, so those, I mean, all of us really have reset each other unless there's a war going on.
There is a war. Like, Horde's shooting you guys. Black Legion's trying to kill you. That's kind of a war, friend.
we tend to shoot each other, NC and PH, they tend to shoot each other all the time outside of the war. As for why NC reset PH now, they got re-raid for the next month or so, right? Until the next war.
It'll be interesting because, as far as I'm aware, Goblins told Pandemic Horde that they can Intosis, NC, and Brothers of Changa space. Yeah,
that's what I got told too.
That's weird.
Yeah, apparently Goblins is pretty pissed that NC reset them, while they were attacking you, and have started going after NC stuff and gave their FCs like carte blanche to do whatever they want. So that's why I'm wondering, how you feel about it.
What I do know is that NC gave them time to evac, and he didn't say that it was an unfriendly reset like he said over to.
You mean like Goblin said?
Yeah.
This is a hostile reset. I try to get a Horde representative on here, but none of them ever want to come on. Goblin's always like tells it to someone else. Next week is Vegas, obviously, and if Goblins is there, I am doing a meta show, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Goblins on the show, or anyone else that's in Vegas. But that leads us to our next topic, is Goons technically cannot go after GOTG. I mean, if we roam there like I did with those carriers, speaking of which, you owe me a carrier trip down to Delve, but that's a different story. But when it comes to Horde seems to be getting the shitty end of the stick here. I personally am not involved in this because I'm on a vacation because I have a lot of shit going on in real life. But I hear that like special interest groups have started messing with Gemini. Is that correct, Kid Color? Like they've started really hunting down like supers and carriers and stuff like that?
I don't think there's been any consolidated effort from leadership. It's just kind of made like people going, hey, Horde pulled out of the agreement because they didn't agree with it or whatever, so we can go there now, yay.
But what I mean is you think Horde is getting the short end of the stick by Goblins making a huge blunder here? Like, do you think this is a big mistake for Horde, for the line member that is Horde?
Yeah, I think that the way they're handling it is stupid. I think that, as far as I can tell from the locators we run, they moved everyone from Blessed Beans, which is like their elitist ops, circle jerk corporation within their alliance, Super Rats. They've moved them all to Cavella Expanse. So they're not even in range to save any of the other people that are ratting anymore.
That's interesting. I mean, we did kill... I mean, for those wondering what I'm talking about, here's some links. A couple of Goon pilots took out their dreads and they shanked some super carriers in Geminate. I wouldn't consider Geminate a very safe place for super carrier routing. But what K-Color said is another interesting point, is they're now in 3 places. So maybe you can attest to what the hell they're thinking. I don't know, but they have.
They'll be in 4 soon, right? If Tess actually pushes for that highsec campaign.
Well, yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. That'd be 4. So they have their supers and their elitist group of Rorquals in Cavalla. They've got their normal average line member in Geminate, and they're banned from Cavalla, by the way. We found this out from CO2 just last week. And then you have the Partisans group, which is deployed now into Venal to assist Black Legion. And their Partisans was the same group that assisted you guys in the war versus us. And then you also have now highsec. How the fuck does Horde do this? I mean, I know Horde's trying to act like goons and think they have a lot of numbers, but how do you split so many key groups apart and still function as an alliance?
It's gonna be hard, man, to be honest.
They won't. They won't be able to. They only have a few real active FCs, and Evil Knight was actually one of those active FCs for them, so he's going to be focusing on the things up north. I mean, he did War Deck test in response to their War Deck for the Fortizar, but the Fortizar is also set to EU currently, although it is being retimed as we speak. So if that doesn't actually get changed, I doubt that he's going to show up for the EU timers, because that's pretty much a US time zone alliance.
Right, like I feel like, and then maybe this is an opinion of mine alone, but I feel like this is a disaster waiting to happen, like a stock market waiting to crash. They're spread so thin that one of these core things, like their Titans or their supers, are going to get caught like I caught them at Geminate. You know what I mean? They're going to get caught with their pants down. All their supers are going to either get massacred or all their Titans are going to get caught. And I just think that's something waiting to happen. Now, the reason I say that is just last week, I believe it was on the weekend, and I'm seeing if I can find the kill mail here. You guys lost 2 super carriers to them. Yeah, it was on the 5th. And we didn't really get to talk about this, but since we're here, what happened with that? Like, did PL or not PL, Black Legion and P Horde Titans come out of nowhere? Like what happened with that fight in Branch?
I wasn't there, but the description that was given to me, we were killing a Fortisar that was anchoring.
Yeah.
And then once that was done, we were basically gate camping with Titans and Supers. And then once that was done, we told everybody to just go ahead and warp to the friendly Fortisar and jump out. There was 2 Supers that were caught. And unfortunately, that system was Sino-jammed, so no apostles could go in, etc.
If it wasn't Sino-jammed, or if the sound jam could have been removed, could you guys have killed those Horde Titans, like the Horde and would that have been a situation where they would have been fucked, or was it one of those things where?
I think we had about 100 plus more Supers in general caps. So in numbers, we seem to have more, but
yeah.
As for the outcome, I don't know.
And then I have another question directly for you. I mean, you're one of the leaders of the North, and this you can obviously answer this question if you want or not.
I'm just a mining FC.
Nah, don't give me that. It's not. Nah, I don't want to hear it. This is a battle report that happened this week. According to Snuff, we chatted with some Snuff guys that came on the show last week. This happened last Saturday, right before the meta show on Saturday. And is Chaos Theory trying to leave? Because they keep losing super carriers and titans in this one area throughout the week this week. What the heck is going on with that alliance? Because they used to have Sov and Declan, and now they don't.
Yeah, so they left Deadco, or sent in their notice roughly about 2 weeks before the deal. And so they left Deadco 2 weeks prior to the deal.
Wait, so they were leaving before the war was even over?
Yeah, well, they sent their notice like, hey, we're going to be exiting, etc., etc. And then when the deal was announced, there were some CEOs that said, hey, let's stay instead. And then we just told them, well, we'll just finish with what you gave us notice for, and you can exit. So
that's
whatever they're doing, I have no clue.
Okay, so they're gone. Like, they're out. They're out of GOTG. So that leaves you guys... Like, with them out of GOTG, that in terms of core alliances in GOTG, it's just you and Darkness now then, right?
No, Siberian and Ranger Regiment would be considered, as well as Zero Superior.
I thought they were renters.
No, they do have renters. Caladrius Alliance is also a member.
How long do you think it'll be before GOTG becomes an actual, like, single alliance kind of like Goonswarm is?
Like Goonswarm?
Yeah, so man. Like, were we like?
I don't think there's no more players that could actually join up and create something like Goonswarm.
No, that's not what I mean.
You have GOTG as a coalition. And
sure.
It seems like I wrote an article for INN about this, but it hasn't been published. It feels like the game is moving the opposite direction that Fuzzy wanted it when he introduced Fuzzy stuff. Is instead of small groups owning space, it's going to be single major alliances owning like vast majority of spaces, and then just people within that alliance kind of living there. Right now, like FXR, CO2, Chaos Theory, if their space gets attacked, you guys are at a huge disadvantage because you have so many or so few people that can actually do the nodes that, like, a single alliance is kind of what's going to end up happening.
Yeah, and that was one of the, challenges of ever maintaining Pure Blind and Fade. I told Sort this as well, before you guys brought your supers in. Like, it's impossible to hold those things. We would be too stretched, so we let anybody go into Pure Blind and whatnot. But to answer your question, a while back we used to have systems where each alliance couldn't rat in, and everybody was in the same coalition, but really segregated by space. And after the war, we've kind of just wiped that all out, and learned from the lessons of maintaining one cohesion, one standing fleet, etc.
Well, another thing I think he's trying to get at here is, like, if you look at the way we structure us, it is segregated. Like, certain corps will go to places, but what used to be alliances are now individual corps in one alliance. So, for example, I think it's PLA used to be PLA, and now they're just one 500-man corp or 600-man corp, right? They're not an individual alliance. So they still live in the same pocket of space they lived in when they were an alliance. They're just under the alliance ticker Goonswarm. And so the question is how long you think it'll be before GOTG just becomes GOTG the Alliance rather than Darkness and Ranger Regiment and all these different smaller groups?
Yeah, I think there's some, some folks that leave the coalition, a lot of their corporations join one or the other. There is that general direction vote, but I don't think Slice will ever fold into Darkness or vice versa. But there is general direction of anybody that really goes into the coalition. Those that don't want to stay or those that really don't have the numbers to put up tend to join one of the bigger ones.
Just answer chat. Why did Goons reset test? It was a mutually agreed upon reset after they had safely got all their stuff out of 6RCQ after they came up to help us. And we're just going back to the way it was before, where we'll be neutral, but we're still pretty friendly. So if you want to call us Blue Troll, we understand.
To answer the test thing, think about it like this. We weren't blue before the war started. It was kind of like I guess you could quote Mittens on this. This is back when I was on vacation in Australia. But Mittens literally said, if there's ever an opportunity to murder Pandemic Legion in a Titan or Super Cap brawl, in a situation where, like, say, one group of enemies was fighting another group of enemies, and PL was on one side and the other group of enemies on the other, we would help that one group. And it just so happened in this situation, it started with Test. If you remember, we didn't blue them officially until the Titan fight. That big Shield Titan fight that went down, where it was PL and all them versus Test on them. We were helping them in the war. We weren't really blue to them, and then all of a sudden we were blue to them, and it was working together. UALX, yeah. So going back to being neutral is pretty, I guess, normal. Because you guys might find this funny, but as soon as we announced that they were neutral, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go shoot Esoteria. Because I like going to Esoteria. It's a fun place.
That reminds me, I want to point out how hilarious it is to watch these Pandemic Legion members cry at GOTG on Reddit about making a deal to save their shit.
Oh, please tell me why.
Do they not remember what happened after BTEC-R, where they made a deal with Goons so that they could get their stuff out? They left the entire war so that they could get their asset out of that station untouched.
Wait, they did? I don't remember this.
Yes.
Please tell the viewers, K-Color. What was the deal? So the deal was they would leave the war after BTEC-R so that they could get all their shit out? Like they would just be out of the war period?
They needed a deal. After the BTEC-R fight, Batani and probably Manny made a deal where PL would exit the war for at least 3 months. In return, they would have access back to their station where they could remove their assets from BTEC-R station. It feels like they've all forgotten that. So to go on Reddit and to cry at GOTG for making basically the same fucking deal they did and say that they're cowards, it's just go look in a mirror.
So
what you're saying is they're hypocrites? Color me shocked.
I want to say though that I don't think Pandemic Legion any commentary against the deal, at least from a leadership perspective. It was only Gobbins from Horde that really was kind of upset with it.
No, there's tons of meme pictures that PL members were posting.
Oh no, members were, not leadership. Right, Rick.
Yeah,
from a PL leadership. What PL leadership at this point?
Yeah, I don't think they're even playing the game anymore. I mean, you've seen what happens with their alliances. But let's go ahead and segue here. We only got 15 minutes left. Normally I would go into subscriber-only mode, but I'm just not in the mood for that today. Thank you, Jay Amaziness, for your 10 months, sir. I didn't even know you were still alive. I was concerned. I haven't heard from you in a while. Nice to see you. If you want to stop by the show, you can come on. We'd like to have you. What the fuck happened? So I was at work when this happened, obviously, but apparently Initiative decided to just throw away a whole bunch of really fancy ships. And I know Brisk Rabal wrote a battle report. I didn't really get to read that. I'm probably going to go read it after the show today. But what the fuck happened? I heard, I read a battle report, but it wasn't that one.
That's hubris.
Someone's saying they lost the Initiative. Thanks, Gerard.
They pulled the DTAC-W and didn't bring enough facts.
So they basically did what Jay did with his poop machine.
Except it wasn't on a beacon, but yeah, it's just kind of they brought a bunch of DPS, but they forgot the healers for the raid.
So they did literally the same thing that Jay did, where they dropped on something, thought they got this, and then oh shit, there's Sino up.
You know, I was surprised to find one Renner that was actually from Slice Pirates was in there.
Yeah, well, no, that's see, you can't really call them. See, that's the thing. A lot of people get confused about renters. Renters nowadays, unless they're in the drones, I don't even consider them renters anymore, right? Because in my view, there are so many groups that put alts in renter groups now, just to have them in there for reasons. Like, you'll see big battles where there's like 10 Titans involved, and only 2 are in the main alliance, and then the rest are in like some random alliance you never heard of, and it's like, oh, those are our renters. But you know damn well, renters aren't elite PvPing with Titans, right? Like,
I think he actually lives Syndicate.
Yeah, so okay, well then I don't know. Fuck. So just look at the. I can't keep up with this shit. Like, I thought when the war was over, it was going to be 6 months of goons aren't going to do anything, so everyone else is not going to do anything because nobody's doing anything. But then you have Try fighting Skill U. You have Laserhawks shooting. Yeah, you have Laserhawks shooting NC Dot in PL. You have NC Dot shooting Horde, Horde shooting you, Black Legion shooting you shooting them. Like, holy fuck. There's so much shit going on in EVE. Like,
it's just a cluster.
Can we discuss how poor Try is? I don't know. How poor is Try? Does anyone know? Anyone on this channel know?
Who?
Try? You know who Try is, yes?
Yeah, no, I understand. That was my
joke.
Yeah. I don't think I've heard anything about Try in a long time now. Any kind of Skill you just eclipse them, and then that's basically the last I heard of them.
I love the pun with the Skill you comment. Okay, so I mean we're not really have much more to talk about. I do want to ask this thing, and maybe I don't know if you play. Have dealt with this game before, right, Rick? But I know K-Color has, so I'll just ask it, and we'll go from there. It was announced today, actually, on the Black Desert Online subreddit, like the Reddit, that PA and the developer of the servers for Russia, Black Desert Online, because the way PA works is they make a game, and then they license it out to all these individual developers in individual countries that then run servers for the game in those specific countries. They have the China one, they have a Russia one, the US one. Well, the Russia one went dark. They made a brand new server and didn't port any of the characters over, any of the stuff over. It basically became a fresh start server. And this led to a discussion today among people saying, what happens if they do this with EVE? What happens if they just decide, okay, we're not going to have EVE run the show anymore. We're making our own server for EVE. We're going to call it something random. And, oh shit, all your shit got wiped. What happens then?
Pretty much the game dies. If they wipe the server but leave things like injectors in, it's over. But again, that's not even that's not the real concern. The concern is that PA told the Russian players one thing and then did a different thing. They told them that they could get to keep their stuff. They told them that they were working on it, and then there was just silence. And then suddenly it's like, well, we couldn't come to an agreement or whatever it was, and all your stuff's gone. And the biggest thing about that game is the amount of money that people put into it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that's... I see Eve is the same way, right? People that buy Plex and put them on the market are doing the same thing as the people that spend money on costumes and all this other stuff in that game, right? I mean, it's not the microtransactions are on the same level, but people that literally buy Plex in order to have 10 billion ISK, that would be the same thing to me. And I could, like, someone used the analogy of Archage, where Archage literally got to a point where they wanted to be money grabbers, so they would just make fresh start servers, and everybody would move to the fresh start server and spend a whole shitload of real life money, and that server would be dead in 6 months. And I just feel like if PA is at fault in this, now I don't know who's at fault, if it was the game net guys from Russia or
well,
PA.
no, we've been told that certain Russian laws restricted the transfer of that game data, and
yeah,
I don't think it could happen to CCP per se, mainly because most of the data is inside London, right? Inside those data centers there. It's under GDPR and whatnot, so similar laws, but I don't foresee where we'll just not be able to transfer those, as long as it's within the EU.
Yeah.
The biggest issue, though, is, one, if they didn't know about those laws when they said that they were going to get to keep their stuff, then they're just... It's still like being a poor company. It's still being.
But this is the reason I ask you to this, and the reason I bring it up is, Pearl Abyss is known for a reputation from back going 4 or 5 years now, when they became a company, is that they tend to make things that benefit Korean gamers, and then they try to port it to other countries, and they use the other countries kind of like a testing bed, right? Like, you'll have, like, what happened in BDO just recently is they released a awesome buff in the Korean server, and it combined that with a nerf. The nerf then got ported to the EU and US client, but not the buff, right? So all the cool shit that Korea just got, we're not going to get in the US on that game for 6 months. And I know that they have said that the EVE acquisition gives EVE... CCP games the ability to continue making the game how they want and when they want. But at the end of the day, you're owned by somebody. You're owned by PA. And PA has a reputation of caring only about 2 things. Their pocketbook and their Korean servers. And I don't think EVE has a Korean server. So it leads to a lot of question marks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's certainly a risk that everybody's scared of. I mean, you could see it on Reddit even.
Yeah, someone just points out in chat that CCP has said that CCP was told they could be completely independent, but it's a question mark, and it's a question mark that I worry about. I mean, do you worry about it, K-Color, or do you just like, yeah, well, EVE's fine?
I worry about it. They get to operate independently, but I'm sure that there's going to be some kind of pressure or influence to bring in things like more skins or more microtransactions or things like that
well,
maybe CCP wants to do, but the way that they're going to do it ends up being more the way that PA wants it. I mean, it's...
Well, and that's the thing, too, is PA even said in their contracts that, like, they're going to get, like, half the money of that $400 million. That's $200 million bonus is going to come based on how well they perform, right? And that tells me if PA doesn't get a big fucking bunch of money out of this, CCP's going to lose out on this deal. So that's one of the things where this can be very interesting. I don't know. I'm speculating here. I don't normally speculate when it comes to stuff like this because I play Black Desert. It's a fun game just to play with some friends. But EVE is old, right? It's been around a long time. And a game like that doesn't tend to change how it makes its money without drastically changing a lot of things. And that could be a good or a bad thing. So, right. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought point.
It's a public company, boat, so there's always a danger, right? It's like $2.6 billion net worth.
Well, Who's a public company? PA is?
PA is. So you always had to have those goals. You always had to hit those metrics every quarter, give your forecast. But there is danger in that sort of. There will be influence. You saw it with BioWare and EA in different games in the past, right? And I don't. That's always going to be a danger with any public company, any public gaming company.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for today. I don't see any other real news going on in EVE to discuss, so we're actually going to be out of here soon. Mittens made a point of saying that he will be back next week 100%, but next week happens to be Vegas, so I will be in Vegas along with many others, and we will be having a meta show live in Vegas unless an emergency happens and I don't end up in Vegas. Because I did test my phone, and my phone can stream pretty fucking easily. It won't be the best quality in the world, but it's free, so...
what did we have to do that 1 year? Like, you Skyped me?
Oh, yeah, I Skyped you and you streamed it, yeah. We won't have to do that this time. That won't happen this time, so...
Alright, guys.
Yeah, but thanks, Rick, for coming on. Thanks, K Color, for stepping in last minute, and that was really cool. Thanks, guys. But we're out of time.
See you.
Yep. So,
see you guys. Bye-bye.
Yep, see you later. Bye!
You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.